Hi there, I'm Adam Kirbas and this is my novel. Listen, this is where I belong. This is my place among these people, among these outcasts, despicable people. This is where I am. Somehow I felt relieved that I am not forced to prove anything anymore. I don't have to be the great husband for Claire anymore. I don't have to be the man Oliver and Lily looks up to, the father who seems to have made it, the one from whom everyone expects great, the one who is an upshot in the neighborhood. No, I don't have to prove these things anymore, because now this is where I am, among these despicable people. I'm one of them. I've finally found where I belong. This whore I lay with. For the first time in years, somehow I felt relieved that maybe all this time I was forced to be someone I'm not. Maybe there's something wicked in me, something deeply depraved I have suppressed all these years. I don't know what to think about. I don't know anything anymore, but it felt somehow relieving having had sex with that whore. It felt like that I have come to myself. It felt like betrayal. It felt like that the bond I had with my family, the bond I grew up with, and everything I had neatly built, that all came crumbling down. It was not meant to be, it was never meant to be, because I have never lived a life that was suitable for me. I've lived a life all these years. I cannot go home anymore. That's not my home anymore. I feel like that I would filth it. Every breath I take, every move I make, every time I'm among my family, I feel like I would be spoiling it. That it is me that sooner or later will destroy everything, will wreak havoc. It is me who will, in the end, ruin everything. Who is not able to appreciate the little they have. No, this is not my home anymore. This is not the place I can go anymore. But where to? Where is my place? Where do I belong? I don't know. I called in the office. Carl was not there. Carl is never there. I had to explain to my stupid secretary, Lisa, that I'm not coming back. That something has happened in me, something that is significant, something I cannot escape from. There's something that is calling me, a calling which is like an echo in my ears, in my mind, and it has captivated me. It is drawing me to it, pulling me to it. I cannot escape it anymore. This is not the life I have lived so far. It is like that my life has been going on all the same, monotonously, boring, monotonous, without anything I'd ever expected. I craved for something which was never meant to be. I craved for nothing. All this time I had never understood who I am. I got in the car, left the filthy streets. The filthy streets I felt home for a long time. I drove around in the neighborhoods. The people who are like me, maybe I am one of them. Maybe my parents adopted me. Maybe my true parents, my biological parents, they are as bad as I am, as rotten as I am. maybe this is why I could never get along with my parents. It was not that we quarreled. It was like that we never really cared about each other. That there was never really something like love between us. Just coldness. We would not talk much with each other. We would not share much with each other. And we would not listen to each other. Maybe there was always this thing inside me brewing, this thing that I would sooner or later lose it all. Like a madman who could successfully pretend all these years that everything was fine. And it looked that way for everyone. Everyone could get a glimpse of an ordinary citizen. In the end, of course, it was nothing but a charade. And it took me so long to understand it. And all this time, all my efforts to accomplish something, to get myself a name, to make myself a name, to be recognized, this is what I was craving for. Like a madman who wants to leave the past behind, who is afraid of the past, who is ashamed of the past, and who thought that just diving underwater and then re-emerging would wash away the filth of one's soul. No, I did not get any answers from religion. I did not get any answers at all muteness. Like the wind was blowing through it, only my voice. There is no answer of God. God never answered me. I wonder whether God ever listened, whether God ever saw it. Did I deserve everything what has happened to me so far? My life stalled, and I have no idea why. I drove around in the neighborhood. I drove around somewhere. And for the first time I realized I have no home to go to. I have no place to call my own. I may have bought the fanciest house in the neighborhood. I may have built myself a life. But in the end it was never mine. In the end I imagined maybe someone else. I was always warming the seat for someone else's life. Maybe he will one day return the perfect image, the spitting image of me, but he has succeeded. He has understood the key ingredient to success. Maybe to live with it all. Maybe to be capable to enjoy it all. But I am not worried about these thoughts anymore. These thoughts are not excruciating anymore. So what? I cannot live with success. So what? I am incapable of enjoying myself. I feel constantly this filth. I feel filthy. I feel shit-faced. I feel down. at the bottom. I cannot change it. All this smell. I don't know how many times I washed myself and still I smell it. It still smells after rotten, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where this all comes from. It is insanity. I know it very well. It is insanity, madness. It is vertigo. Vertigo, because I'm somewhere I'm not accustomed to. This is not where I belong. I'm not one of these successful people. I'm not one of these high-rising stars. No, I'm a filthy little something who has pretended all these years that he could have a normal life. What a stupid chap I was. What a stupid man I was. And now I pay the price for it. Now I'm doomed. Now it is all gone. And I drive around in the streets. I drive around somewhere, but where do I don't know. But somehow I had a fancy, I don't know how, but as if I want to find out about my past, about where I come from. I mean, isn't this ridiculous? You feel like filthy. You feel that you are low life. You feel like that you do not deserve your life, your success at all. But somehow you are interested in your past. Somehow you want to know more about you, how you came to be. Somehow this question is always this stupid one question. Where did I lose it all? And more importantly, would there have been any change? Would there have been the chance of change? Was it meant to be, or was it not meant to be? Is this where I end? Is this how far I came? Could I have ever changed it? I think about Oliver. I think about Lily. Somehow there are still fatherly resentments in me. What if my boy is one of them? What if my boy is like me? What if my boy would be in my place, has built his life, and then all gets crumbled down? What if my boy will suffer from the same disease? What if Lily suffers from it? Shouldn't it be my fatherly responsibility to find out what this madness is, to find out what this disease is? But I don't know anything. It's like the past I came from is dark, sonorous, sinister. I don't know anything about it. All this time I have forgotten about it. I always thought about it. Yeah, well, school was never easy. I told myself that I was not meant for school, that school does not apply for me. That's why I decided not to pursue college, but to get myself a job. And didn't I succeed? Didn't I accomplish something? No one can ever take away that from me. At least I thought that way. But more and more, this success, these accolades I have allocated all these years, I've garnered all these years, they somehow are sort of fading. They are fading. They are not enjoyable anymore. Like it was used as, like you get a prize for something which is not worth celebrating for. It was never to last. This is something you find out very, very, very last at the end where it's all too late. Maybe my time would have been spent with doing something else. But with what? Doing what exactly? Doing what? What could someone like me do? What could someone like me ever become? It is all useless. It is all nonsense. And why the past? Why find out the past more and more? I realize this is not about my boy. This is not about my family. This is about me. I want to get to know. I want to get to know my past, because this is not how I'm built. Just to let myself drift on the surface, drift somewhere, I don't know. No, I want to find out. I'm curious about my past. Wasn't I a promising young man? At least I thought so. I tried to remember my youth, the time in school, why I was so disinclined to go to college, why I was a disappointment for my parents. Maybe I was a disappointment when I was. They never really conveyed it. Maybe all this education, you should not tell your child that you are disappointed with him. You should not force your will on your child. You should raise them in a way that you do not intrude and transgress in their individuality. What a crap, what a nonsense, what individuality. I would have loved if my parents would have interfered with me in my life, would have shown my life. Maybe they did, but I never really realized it. Maybe they thought that way, but I could not wrap my head around it. What was it all about? What is life all about? And I'm curious. I've been driving around for a couple of hours, and I wonder what Claire will think of me. The man who fucked a whore, who enjoyed it. Someone who doesn't even feel guilty that he wrecked the only life he got. More and more I'm scared, or I should be scared, because this would have been the last straw, the last something where I belong, where I could have gone back to. No, the life I have buried for good. No, I cannot go back there anymore. And how long would it last? How long would it last bis people would saw me, recognize me? The insane guy, the stupid dude. I mean, isn't it laughable? Isn't it laughable that someone who had it all somehow is too stupid to enjoy the fruits of his labor? No, a joke, a laughing matter. This is all what I would become. Someone people look down on. Going back alive, going back down a road isn't where I belong. Somehow I feel relieved with all this filth and with all this stench I'm carrying around with me. At least my parent, my family, at least my family is not being dragged down this road. I somehow feel proud about it. At least I can spare my children this fate, that they do not have to feel ashamed of their father, that no one points at their father. Look at him, look at this man, look at this loser, this douchebag. No, I belong somewhere else. And I sincerely hope that my children have something of their mother, that my children, that they are like their mother, that they will never become what I have become. And what am I? What am I? This is one of these questions I am trying to find out. This is the question I pursue, and where in my past I drove to school. I'm looking around in the prison. Something scary, something sinister is in the school, primary school. This is where it all started, I say to myself. This is where society may or may not have broken me legs. A legs of what authority maybe did it all. Actually, I have no standing on school. I have no idea what the right education is. What is the right way to raise a child? What is the quintessential method to bring forth good, decent people? To bring forth people who are proud of what they have accomplished, who do not find excuses why they deserve it or why not, who are proud of who they are and who know who they are. Well, I do not. Only a dark cloud in my mind, only darkness. This is where I walk through. This is where I feel at home. And somehow I have gotten used to darkness. Darkness I feel at home again. Darkness in which I assume people see not and read not the filth. People do not see my face. In darkness I feel at home. I feel at home that somewhere, somehow, I do not have to face people's judgments. In darkness I do not see all the possibilities life has, and I will never grasp. In darkness I do not feel this force anymore, this force to work, this force to pursue greatness, this demand I somehow felt all this time to do something with my life, to accomplish something, this demand which did not leave me alone, which grappled me sometimes, but which was responsible for all I have accomplished so far. This strife, this energy, it leaves me alone. It sleeps during the night, because night shift is not the place where I can find a lot of opportunities. Night is soothing, darkness is soothing, darkness is my own. But yet this school, it has something on it. It has something sinister on it. Maybe here I proud myself. Maybe here very soon I found out that school was too stupid. I tried to fathom it. I tried to order my thoughts. I think of myself as someone who is extraordinary. Who thought about life a great deal, who understood that school and everything that comes with school in the end leads nowhere. That's why I decided against it. I outsmarted school. And maybe it all started here. Maybe in this very place, primary school. As a young boy, I probably understood that this is not where I want to be. But somehow these thoughts, they seem so bizarre. Like you would be yelling in a mountain. Like you would be crying, screaming in an empty, deserted place. Why would anyone ever scream? Some thoughts go through my mind, some thoughts I cannot fathom. I cannot understand. Why am I here? Shouldn't I have walked home to my parents? Shouldn't I have asked them how my youth was, what I was thinking, what was my childhood like? What did I like? What did I enjoy? Did I have any friends? Did I have someone I talked to? Someone I could go to? Did I have a home? Did I ever feel comfortable? What was my favorite candy? I don't remember. Every child has a favorite candy. Every child has something he or she likes to eat a lot, very, very often. But I somehow do not remember. I see a supermarket, and I somehow know that this supermarket was always there. This supermarket, it stood there for all I can think. It stood there throughout my childhood. And I remember that I went in there. I did. I bought candy. I must have bought candy. This must have happened. But somehow, I'm not sure what did I eat all this time. I'm not sure at all about anything. Did I ever walk in there? Somehow these thoughts, these memories, they are all shallow. They are not like me being in there. All these memories, like they happened to someone else. Like I was not part of it. But somehow I know about it. I know that I walked here from my home, this path, all the way here to the school. I walked many times, many days alone. I walked on foot. I drove by bicycle. I came here somewhere. But it is all so far away. It is all so detached, as if it would be not in my memory, as if it would be not in my mind. This place, this school, here it all starts. You have this feeling. This is where I'm drawn to. This is where I came through. This is where I started into life. My first step into life. This is where it starts and where it ends. This is how I feel like. How I feel like in my mind. How I feel like this deep bond, this chain that draws me here over and over again. I cannot escape it. I will probably drown here. And it feels like as if I would be trapped here, as if I would never escape these formative years of my life. But I don't know what it is. I don't remember what has happened here. What happened here? Whom I met here. only darkness, only sinister cold sweeps through me, through my body. It grapples me, fear grapples me. But what I'm afraid of, I have lost everything. I don't have anything to go back to anymore. I have nothing. I have ruined my life because I could not fathom what was wrong with me. I could not walk at once. I became one of these stupid losers who could not handle their own lives, who could not accomplish anything. Stalled, lost, stopped halfway through. This is what I have become. And this school here it all started. Here something happened, but I can't remember. Maybe it is something I wanna believe in. Maybe this is something I have seen in the movies. I've seen a lot of movies all these years. A lot of crap. I binge watched crap. I watched in the background. I listened to in the background. Maybe it had all an influence on me. It all gave up on me, dawned on me. But I tried to remember what happened in this school. I tried to remember my thoughts as a boy. Aren't they important? Isn't this what your memories are all about, your feeling? What did you think about school? I tried to remember my first day at school. And it is hard to remember. Somehow it is in the dark, it is shady. I'm a young boy who was apparently, at least I think that I was in the beginning just very excited to go to school, that I would enjoy going to school, that it would be something I would be looking forward to. But this is the first day in school, and nothing happened thereafter. Thereafter is darkness. I don't remember anything anymore. As if everything falls into darkness again. And then there are memories, parts of memories which are flooding me at this very moment. I'm walking alone after school. I'm walking alone something. I know that I'm a little boy. I can see myself. I can see myself here in this school, this path, this place. I can see myself drowned in something, drowned in water, whatever it is. I feel the steps on my feet. This is a memory I feel myself in. This is a memory which is on my own, which belongs to me, at least I'm confident. It belongs to me. And this memory, it leads me away from school. It leads me somewhere I'm not sure about. Away. It is in the afternoon. Why was I in school so long? I don't know. But somehow I don't know what to think about anymore. Tongue-tied. I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm not quite sure this memory and how they add up. The first memory I had about the school, the first memory that I was looking forward to school. I was expecting, I was wondering. The first day in school didn't seem so bad at all. How could someone, a boy, come out hating school, deciding not to attend college, but go somewhere successful? And what would have come out of it? And then, how many months later, I don't know, how many years maybe later, I don't know, I leave school in the afternoon, and I look at my body. I look at my hands. Somehow it are not the same anymore. Somehow this jacket of mine, everything is not the same. And I feel relieved, but I don't know about what. Relieved that I have somehow managed to get out of where. I'm not quite sure. Escaped from where? I'm not sure. But my feet, they feel heavy. My feet, as if almost they drag me down. And I feel dizzy. My head is burning. My ears are ringing. Maybe something happened around me. I assume that there are cars, some people honking, cars around me. But somehow this is in a rural side. There are not many cars, there are not many people around it. But somehow my thoughts are in disarray. This is not what little boys should think about. This is not what you as a young man should think about. It is all different. And I remember that I was not sure what to think about anymore. These memories. I'm not sure where I came from, where I come from. Somehow only my feet remembered the pathway, as if I would be running an automation. As if I would not have the slightest clue where I was heading to. Isn't it normal that after school you go home to your parents, you tell them about school, you tell them what happened, and they listen. And they then help you with your homework. You have home assignments. Isn't this normal? Isn't this the ordinary thing you go through, what people do? But I went somewhere. I was heading somewhere. And I didn't even know I was heading home. These memories, they somehow do not make sense. Anything and everything doesn't make any sense. Somehow I did not have any friends. Maybe I was not very social. I was never really social. I was always about success. It was always about accomplishing something. In the real estate company I'm working at, I don't have any friends either. I somehow hate people. I don't feel comfortable around them. I remember Lisa, this stupid, dumb woman. And she is really a burden like all the others. There are a lot of douchebags around me. And you somehow have to deal with it. But yet I tried to be nice. I tried to be polite. I tried to force myself. Maybe this was the reason why I had never friends. Anyone I could call a close friend, at least I do not assume anyone. No, I was all alone. It was all me all these years. And I don't even remember my parents. As if they were never really part of my youth, as if I had never really shared anything with my parents, as if they would have been submerged into darkness. The memory continues. I go home. I'm so tired. I can hardly move my hands, my legs. Somehow all seems to be coordinated. Somehow all as if I would be walking on my own. But there is fear. I remember back then. Fear that I could fall down. That I could tumble. That I could fall down and never get up. This fear. Back then. I had already this fear. I had already this fear that at once, out of nowhere, I would sink down. At once, out of nowhere, I would not find the strength anymore to get up, to stand on my feet. Back then, this is the memory. This is where this school leads me to. The earliest memory I have about my life. I could sink down. I could lose it all. I could fall down and never get up. This fear. And I feel relieved when I reach home. The place I feel safe. This is probably what I was looking for all these years, a home, somewhere I belong. But what is then? I go to sleep. And then I wake up. Maybe years later, I don't know. I wake up in the there is school. I have lost all these years between these memories. Or I don't know anything about it. I don't remember anything at all. And I grow up and I wake up in a second, there is school. And I'm worried about home assignments. I'm worried about school. I'm worried about a teacher who hates the guts of me and who makes my life miserable. I'm worried about my future. Back then I already knew that school is not something for me. Back then I knew that this is not the place I belong. Back then it already dawned on me. But yet it feels different again. It feels like I was deaf, numbness. This is what really are these memories all about. Some people may have good memories, joyous memories about their lives. I don't. And yet I do not remember anything of my parents. I do not remember having suffered from the hands of my parents at all. I do not remember anything at all. I do not know anything about my life at all, as if it would be nothing, as if it would be void. I try to emulate my steps right there in front of the school. I try to remember anything. Where was I heading? Why did I leave school so late? Why was I wearing clothes which did not belong to me? I don't know. It feels so dumb. It feels so stupid. Walking there somewhere. I'm a grown-up man and I walk there along the path. Walk on the school, try to remember something. I walk on the precipice on the school. I try to remember that here in primary school, years, days, weeks passed by. Here, these were my formative years. This is where I grew up, and yet I have hardly any memories about it. All seems to have been submerged in darkness, as if the chain that is holding me back all these years, dragging me down underwater, as if I cannot see where the chain is attached to, as if I'm not sure where I come from and what is this all about. I don't know. It feels so stupid. It feels so dumb. I'm almost about to break it off, go somewhere. But then again, I remember, where should I go to? Where is my place? Where is the place I belong to? Where can I go? I've broken with my past. I've broken with my family. I cannot go back to Claire anymore. I cannot look her in the eye anymore. Not because I betrayed her. No, because I cannot be this perfect man. I cannot relish and worship this marriage. I think I cannot even consume it anymore. No, I cannot go back. There is no back. There is no past of me anymore. There is only one thing, and this seems doom. This seems my doom. Again, with a last effort, I try to remember, but I don't know why. Why bother? Why years later? All this time, everything went well. Shouldn't I go to a doctor? Shouldn't I go and see a doctor? Shouldn't I just admit that something is wrong with me? And so what? Yes, everyone loses his shit. Everyone loses his mind. And so what? There is a lot of pharmacy. There is a lot of medication. Why should I be ashamed of it? Just admit that something is wrong with you and they will give you medication. Oh crap, it gets. Didn't they give me one? Didn't they give me medication and I felt great? No, I was ashamed to ask for more. This is what it all was. I thought of myself that I would end up stupid and insane if I would give in to the drugs. Now this was a last straw I kept on. This medication, I should have kept taking it. No, but I was too good for it. I thought of myself as a normal man who does not need all this crap, who does not need medication. My arrogance led me to this point. It is so depressing. I felt great while I was taking it, so why not continue? It's so stupid. It's all dumb. Being here in this school, trying to fathom the past, trying to find out something. And so what? Let the future be nothing but a slumber. There are a lot of junkies who ruin their lives. I could have lived like a junkie. At least this is what I assume to be an insane guy. You take your daily dose of drugs. I shouldn't have told Claire about it. I shouldn't have said anything about it. Maybe this would have changed everything. No, it was her gaze, it was her look. She tried to be understanding. She tried to be soothing. But again, I saw this disappointment in her face. I could not be a man anymore, no. I could not take this drug anymore. She needed a man. But I could not be this man. I could not be this man for her. I was no one. Like a loser who makes all this fuss out of nowhere. Like someone who out of nowhere needs attention. This is how it all felt like. This is how she looked at me. Like someone, like someone who has decided to be a burden for his family. Someone who hasn't grown up at all. Someone who is a stupid child at all. Maybe I was so. Maybe I was like this all my life, all my years, all my youth. Maybe this was all me. I try to remember, maybe I was one of these hateful, despicable young pupils who were not independent, who were not self-sufficient, who could not deal with their life, who could not deal with growing up. Maybe I was a mommy's boy. Maybe I was a loser who could not get things done. And it all followed me up to my late years. Maybe this was the reason why I had never any friends, because it was clear from the beginning that this fella, this boy, well, he will never accomplish anything. Nothing good will ever come out of it. Doomed, stigmatized, maybe visible for everyone to see. And so what? So what of it? And here I am, all these years later, trying to find out what happened there. Maybe it is not genetic at all. I don't remember anyone going insane in my family, yet I'm not sure that I am the son of my parents. I'm not sure whether I was ever their child. I'm an only child. This was always something that bothered me, made me thoughtful. Why don't I have any siblings? Maybe my parents weren't able to conceive. Maybe something happened to them. Maybe I was adopted and they never bothered telling me at first. Like in school, maybe they were joyous. They were thrilled having a child, having adopted a child. Maybe they enjoyed being my parents in the beginning, but then things dawned on them. Things became clear very soon. This boy, this fella, he is a disappointment. He is not what we have expected. Like the Claire, her face, her gaze. What do you want from me? This was her facial expression. She tried not to be judging. She tried to be understanding, because now this seems to be a fancy. People have some issues. People go through stuff. People cannot deal with success. People who are afraid if they go too high, who have vertigo because they have accomplished too much. What a stupid disease. And yet this stupid disease, it has a name. It has a name. It's a fancy people live with. And Claire's face, her entire facial expression showed it to me. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What should I say to that? How could I help you? Are you going to be a burden for me? No, I'm not going to be a burden for you. No, I could never be a burden to you. I cannot even tell anyone about this. I cannot even make clear and understandable my thoughts. I don't know anything about it at all. I don't know anything about my life. No, the only thing I can do is to emulate my steps, trying to find out how the roots of all this is, where it leads to, where I was heading, what happened. No, nothing. I don't remember it. I don't know anything. My brain is void, is empty. It is drained, exhausted of my own incapability, exhausted of my own stupidity. What is this? A stupid fancy, and this is all what this is all about. God damn it. I should have just continued taking the drug. Why didn't I separate from Claire very soon? Why didn't I just fuck around? Say to her that she and I, that this doesn't work out. That I want to live alone, that I want to live separated. At least I wouldn't have lost my face. I wouldn't have lost my countenance. I wouldn't have to endure her judging look, her too polite look. Well, Claire, she's always so damn polite. She always tries to be nice, but I can see through her. I can see through this mask. I know very well what she wants. I know very well that she always liked an upshot. That she always admired me for the energy, for the vigor I showed her. She did not love me for who I am. No, she loved my success, because I don't know who I am. I never cared about who I am. So what did she know about me? She didn't know anything about me. No, she cared about the fancy clothes. She only cared about the success, about the wealth. She cared about what I made her, what I could help her to accomplish. This is what was all about. And then she looked at me in disappointment. What do you want from me? I cannot help you. I cannot guide you. This is some fancy stuff I have not come across. Now, this is not what marriage is all about. Everyone talks about marriage. Everyone talks about marriage, that you are there for each other. This is total crap. This has nothing to do with reality. Marriage is about doing your own thing. Marriage is about one leading the way and the other following it. The other enjoying it. This is what it's all about. This is what reality is. No matter whether people say the opposite. They don't know anything. They only live in fancy dreams. They only imagine an ideal situation where you have found the right girl, where you have found the woman with whom you can build a life on, who supports you. Well, this is rare. This is rare, and it has nothing to do with reality. Here is the fact. Here comes the fact. As long as you are on top, as long as you are doing good, you will have a lot of friends. People will gather around you. They will look at you as an upshot. They want to be like you. They want to admire you. This is what gives you support, and they will support you. They will support you because they want something in return. They assume that when they support you, that they will get something, an advantage, that you can give them something they lack, they have not. This is the only support and help you get in your life. Anything else is crap. Anything else has nothing to do with reality. This is what is real, this and nothing else. And Claire was one of these essay stories in my life. She may have been pure. She may have been this attitude. Maybe not more, but I could not go back there and spoil it. Somehow inside me, there is this notion, this feeling that maybe it could all work out. Maybe I just need a little bit of time. Maybe I just need to get my thoughts straight, and then everything will work out. Everything will get back to normal, and I can assume my place at the head of the table. I've lost it. This is how it all feels, that I have lost the place at the head of my table. I am incapable to find out what is wrong with me. I'm incapable to mute these doubts, these self-doubts. I'm incapable of just walking from one place to another. I'm incapable of closing my nostrils to the stench that seems to surround me, to this hopelessness, to this sinister darkness. I'm drowning it. Maybe I came out as a grufti, whatever it is. It is crap. It burns my soul. It is nothing that is enjoyable. Again, I look at the school. I look at this place. Look at this box. This box which probably had a lot of good memories for people, for young folks. Maybe some pupils remember going in this school, and they have good memories. They maybe have enjoyed their life in school. Maybe they were motivated. Maybe they were given a purpose. Maybe they discovered something I did not. I don't know. It is all crap. But yet, somehow, at once, I start to remember something. I start to remember going to the supermarket. I start to remember buying newspapers. But these are not for my parents. The supermarket down there was selling newspapers. I remember eating candy, getting candy in return. Here in school, I remember always getting up very early to meet someone in school. And I remember all this year, I have forgotten it. On the basement in school, someone was living there. An elderly woman, Mrs. Moonwick. She was living there, yes. Now I remember, she was living there. And I would always get up very early, would come here very early, so that I could get her the newspaper from the supermarket. And something else. And I would do her groceries sometimes. And she would give me candy in return. Mrs. Moonwick. And I would be looking forward to this candy. I would enjoy this candy. Mrs. Moonwick. All these years I had entirely forgotten her name. And where was she? She was living down in the basement in the school. I approached the door. There is still an apartment in the basement. I'm shaky. I feel like I am about to knock on someone's door, knock on something new, knock on the past knock on something I had suppressed all these years. And I'm shaking on my legs, what I might discover, what I might see. I'm not quite sure. Mrs. Moonwick, this is probably the closest memory I have about the school. Some joy. The closest memory to joy. Mrs. Moonwick. I repeat her name. I fear that I could forget it. Anything. I have to cling on this name. I try to remember what candy it was. I just know it was candy she gave me, but I don't remember the taste of it, whether it was delicious, or whether it was just ordinary candy. I see her smile. I can see her parts of her face, Mrs. Moonwick. I can see her joy whenever I would bring her the newspapers and would bring her groceries, Mrs. Moonwick. I ring the bell in the basement of the school. After a while, a young man opens up. I don't recognize him. I don't remember whether Mrs. Moonwick ever had a boy, a lad, or whatever. I only saw her. I asked him about Mrs. Moonwick, that I would be looking for her, and I haven't seen her for him. The man knows Mrs. Moonwick, and I'm relieved. I thought that it was all a phantom, that it was all a stupid memory, or that it was not real, that things that happened in my mind, in my brain, things that are visualized in my brain, that they have nothing to do with reality. No, Mrs. Moonwick, she exists, and I'm relieved it was not all my imagination. He tells me that Mrs. Moonwick has moved to a retirement center, and he gives me the address. This is the first hint of my past, the first memory I have and I can follow, the first bond to my childhood I can follow to. And I see the address. I stare at it. This address, it means something for me. It means that I can go back to my childhood, that I can understand myself, that I can understand where I came from, that I can understand my childhood, the boy I was, Mrs. Moonwick. Maybe she remembers me. Of course she must remember me. I'm the one who brought her groceries. She was always joyous. She was always friendly. She always greeted me nice. At least this is what I still remember. It was not everything, just imagination. Mrs. Moonwick, she exists and she's there, and I can ask her about my life. I can ask her about who I was, what I was thinking, what I was like, and where all this life leads to. What's the meaning of it all? I'm joyous. I'm light on my feet again. I can feel the strength inside me again, inside my body again. I'm resolved again, and I walk to my car. I want to meet Mrs. Moonwick today.